recording for about the last, I don't know, 15 minutes, and we were not actually recording. We were like the little kid on that State Farm commercial telling Chris Paul's son, I didn't even record. I didn't even record.
I'm sorry. Hey, like I just looked over because I was like, how many minutes are we in? Because
You
I
know
was
what? I
at
was
the
weird though because I was thinking to myself, I was like, the Facebook notification ain't pop up.
well, no, because we're not live, so that's not going to pop up. The 9 o'clock show, which you guys need, if you aren't on YouTube and on our Facebook page, you need to go on there so you can see us and see the disaster that I am at times.
Woo, Lord. You my disaster though.
I'm gonna
I
get it
fucking
together.
I ride with you. It's okay. Teddy was looking at me like, y'all know y'all not recording, right? Like it says
I
preview at
know
the top.
he tried. He tried.
He's drunk though. He don't look at him. He over there boozing up. He ain't paying no mind to us for real, for real. Let's start it up.
All
We
right.
here.
Are you ready?
Happy hump day.
Let's try it again.
Try it again.
Welcome to Disaster Dating 101. I'm Natasha Renee.
And I'm Antoine.
Come join this disastrous journey where we talk about our dating horror stories
Real issues.
and how we can work through these issues in today's society. And today's episode is how important is chemistry?
I wish you had the chemistry notes to that last discussion we was having that we won't record it.
So we'll try this again.
We're gonna try to capture the
Oh,
magic that was
watch this.
happening.
Watch this. So I remember, my chemistry class, Mr. Griffin. It was a cut class. What about you?
Oh, oh, my chemistry class. I don't even know why I even took that shit for real. Like I was so mad to be in there. It was junior year. I was in there with 10th graders. We was in there cutting up. Like I was in that class when they announced that OJ got let off. Like when they called him not guilty. Like,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? We was running out the class because we had an outside school. We was running out the buildings yelling juices loose. Like that day was over. And then real talk, I wasn't even like really celebrating that fool because I was still mad the Knicks lost that year. We was in the finals against Houston. They cut off one of our best games for this like low speed chase. You know what I'm saying? We lost. I was mad.
I
I was
guess
really
they didn't
upset.
have chemistry. See?
I mean, I won't be taking no Nick slander on here. I'll tell you that. All right. Nick's tape. So so chemistry is interesting.
It is.
And I want to talk about it a little bit because it kept coming up in one of my previous relationships.
Okay.
Um and I think chemistry and compatibility and what's the other C word? Compliment. I think those get used interchangeably to justify some of our bullshit. Real talk.
I mean, with me, I felt like me and my ex had chemistry.
Chemistry, right? But
Yes.
again, in your opinion, what would be the difference between chemistry,
Compatibility.
compatibility, and what's the word for being of compliment?
Uh,
No, you can't say complacency, right? No, that's not it.
no,
Complete, no. All
no.
right. So anyway, of being of compliment, right?
Yes.
You got complete. You got chemistry. You got what's
We
the other one?
had,
Compatibility.
so we had, I feel, and for me, we had chemistry, but we weren't compatible.
Why?
So, like I was saying before I realized we
The
weren't,
last conversation don't count. Don't reference it. People don't know what we were talking about.
they don't, but
Then you have to tell them how we were talking for 15 minutes and you weren't recording.
anyway, back to the story. I was saying my last ex that I always say bad things about on the podcast, which I really don't. I talk about how bad the relationship was, but
You
there
lucky he
were
don't hit you with a defamation suit.
I don't say his name, so he can't do anything at all.
You so smart.
Yep, I do not mention his name at all,
Got it.
or say where we were, or say where we lived, so he'll know. I could be talking about anybody.
No breadcrumbs.
None.
None.
But him and I stayed together for about 2 years,
Yeah.
and we got along in the house. Like we lived like our living arrangements. We never like I never complained about like anything that he did.
Y'all were good roommates.
We were, that's what it was. We were good roommates, even when he
Okay.
moved to the couch. You
So
know,
it's funny because I think chemistry, all these words, chemistry, compatibility, they're always using a reference of a relationship.
yeah,
So it makes it seem like these things are so important. And I think they get blown up. I think when you talk about chemistry, you have to talk about the ability to naturally sync with another human. You
yeah.
as your own individual, them as their own individual, and you guys naturally sync without having to force it, without having to even find things in common, just a harmonious coexistence between y'all. I think that's chemistry for me.
But that was the thing. That's why I said we clicked, but it was the women. He didn't. I think that, and this is the honest truth. If he was ready for a relationship, I think we would still be together.
So you guys had natural chemistry, but you guys weren't compatible because you had different moral sets.
Yes, he was still holding on to his ex and other people from his past.
He had boundary issues.
Yes, he did. He really did. Because the day that it was over, like the day that it was over, I felt bad, but I didn't feel bad. Like when he knew that I was leaving and I wasn't coming back, him and I had like that heart to heart conversation. And it was so heart to heart that I was like, should I even leave? Like, you know what I'm saying? I had to like second guess because it was like, I wanted this conversation. This is what I wanted from the beginning. And it took you 2 years later, the day I say that I'm leaving, it was already done and over with by that time. You know what I'm saying? And now you want to open up and say what your issues are. It was
See,
too
the,
late.
the thing about chemistry is chemistry has no form to it in a
That's
sense
true.
that it covers everything,
It does.
right? It's shout out to my homies. Um, some of the first people that I've ever got close to when I got to Norfolk State Triangle Offense. Shout out Doing Jr. That was natural chemistry. Those were
Mhm.
two whole individuals in their own right at that school. I come to the school and our friendship seemed to do this,
Yep.
right? In my mind, that's what I think about when chemistry. Now, when you apply chemistry like that to relationships, I think it's an unfair thing, right? Because you're putting an expectation on something that should already happen naturally if it's going to happen, right? If I meet you and we don't click just because we don't click. It has nothing to do with a relationship. But
Exactly.
because I want a relationship from my interaction with you, right? Now I'm not looking for the chemistry no more. No, I'm not looking for the natural chemistry no more. I'm looking for the compatibility. I'm now trying to make space for you when we don't have no natural chemistry.
That's why I always say that in a relationship, I'm looking for my best friend. Because, like you said, if we don't click, then it's not going to work.
Okay, so best friend.
Okay.
I'm glad you said that because I believe that too. But what is a best friend?
That's a good
Like
question.
what is a best friend? Because we are not people are not good friends to each other. People don't know what the word best friend mean. It's a title. It's a title that you like to give to create a hierarchy of people in your life.
That person that I guess you would say that you're more open with, that you click and you get along with, and
Can you
you have
ever
less issues than your other friends.
can you ever
Less.
be can you ever be mad at your best friend?
Yes. That's why I
Can,
said less issues.
can you be mad at your best friend and end the relationship?
That's a good You can,
Why?
depending on how
That
bad
person's not your best friend.
that is. You're right.
That person's not your best friend. And I've been saying, I said this, I used to say this to younger female students as they used to come into ODU. And they used to hang around us all the time. And me and my friends, like I said, we've been friends since like '95. I'm the youngest out of most of them because they was already there at ODU when I got there.
Got you.
Um, but from '95 to now, we have fought, we have struggled, we have made money together, we have slept with women together, we've traveled
Ooh,
together, we've been in weddings. You know what I'm saying? Like these
got
are my guys. I know I've seen us throw hands at each other, right? I've witnessed that. Okay. When I used to see these friendships and these cliques that used to form in school, and then I used to see them fall off. And I'd be like, well, y'all want real friends. Because here's what people don't understand about friendship. And again, I speak from what I know. I don't speak as an expert, right? I speak when I say when you accept somebody as a best friend, I mean that person in your life, you take them for their highs, their lows,
yep.
their faults, their greatnesses. You celebrate all of that as a person.
That's
Can
true.
you have moments where y'all not aligned and you need a little space?
Yeah.
Yes, sure. But if they're your best friend, if they are somebody that means something to you in your life, then you could tell them. You should be able to tell them, look, I can't fuck with you right now. Like, and it's hard conversations. I have best friends, and I have to make sure that they're just not my best friends, but they're best friends to me. You get what I'm
I
saying?
got. I
And I'm
got you.
best friends to them
I got
because I know me as a person. I know I'm difficult. I know I'm moody. I know I could be aloof. I know all my faults as a friend, but I also know all my pluses as a friend. And then I say to you, if you call me a friend, if you consider me a friend to you, then love me for all of it, like I love you for all of you. Because there are going to be times when you piss me the fuck off. But if I know you, if I call you my best friend, I have to know you. And I can't feel the sting because I'm running around in my mind saying, well, yeah, I know that's how they was, but I never thought it was going to happen to me. Yeah, it was.
you.
Yeah, it was going to eventually happen. Whoever that person's personality is was eventually going to affect you.
No, that's true.
So now that it hit you, you ready to jump ship. You try to act like you don't know that person. You never knew that person, yet you put this person in best friend status.
That is true. Now I need to rethink some things.
There are going to be a million people in your life. Some people got front row seats to that show in your life, and some of them motherfuckers in the nosebleeds.
I know a couple that's in the nosebleed.
But yet, there's people in front row seats that need to be in the nosebleeds.
Yep. And the people in the nosebleed gonna still come every single time, regardless of what position they're in.
So it's like when we talk about that part about, when we get back to chemistry, bringing it back to chemistry, that happens organically. You can't. It, it's always funny. Like you saw Step Brothers. Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Yes.
Right. But it don't even happen that fast. It's just it's really a feeling.
You
When
know. You know.
right?
Yeah.
Now, as organic as that is, when you try to take that feeling, mold it, and
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 force.
and
Yep.
force it for a relationship,
It's gonna mess it up.
that ain't real.
It definitely. No, I agree with you because even with my my kid's dad, um, I always say that we were better off friends. Like when we tried, because we clicked so well that it was like, well, I guess we need to be in a relationship since we are like such great friends. We might as well just be in a relationship. Soon as our
Oh,
relationship crashed
oh,
right
you
after.
broke rule number one. I like you. You like me.
Right.
We should be together.
Yeah,
Nah, nah, it don't work like that.
it sure doesn't because every when we made it a relationship, it just
It don't work like that at all.
it was horrible.
I
And
bet it
and even
was.
with me, I enjoyed hanging out with him. Everybody always thought we was messing around. We weren't. Like we would like just hang out. go places together. That was, you want to go, Tosh? Yeah, let's go. And that's how it was. So it was like, since we're so perfect hanging out together, and that's what we both thought. We were in
Stranger
our
danger.
20s. We were
Stranger
in our
danger.
20s.
Stranger danger.
And we
What?
thought that. We thought we had Slick
Why do
so
y'all
well.
want why do folks want to build relationship houses from the roof down? The fuck?
Because we think
First
it's gonna work.
the first hurricane issue comes and that damn house is flying down the street.
Yeah, because when we were in a relationship, I knew I would never marry him. I knew it.
Wo- As a woman, I must ask, why are y'all in a rush? Why are y'all trying to force the things that should be natural? You the main ones that go off your gut until you fall in like.
And that's when it mess up. I know for me, and this is me personally, I don't know anybody else, but for me, I always saw that my mom was married, or I was in a household with two parents, even my grandparents. Everybody was married. So that's what I saw as a successful relationship. And we talked about this before.
The greatest subliminal message ever.
Yeah. So that's what my
Your
goal
house.
was.
But
I
how,
had to get married.
but how many of y'all saw behind the velvet curtain?
I didn't, because when hold on, true story. When I tell you, I've learned more about, rest in peace to my mom, but I've learned more about my mother and my stepfather's relationship, and rest in peace to him also, that it wasn't what I thought it was.
Do you know if your grandma had her money in order, she would have left your grandfather years ago? Like that's how they was stuck. They
Some people
literally
did,
stuck,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, definitely. Because
And
I didn't.
people have built their idea of marriage off of this and never saw behind the velvet curtain.
Mm-mm. Because I never, like with my parents, I never heard them argue. I never heard them fight. I never even heard them curse. So
You know,
for
I
me, that's what I thought a relationship was.
so I it was just me and my mom. I knew who my dad was. He remarried. I have a sister because of that. Um, but when I went to live with them, and that was like the first time I was ever in a two family home, a two parent home at that point, and I was in the third grade by the time that happened, right? And I went to go live with them, and I didn't have to wonder what was behind the velvet curtain because my father, old drugged out ass, he was putting on a full show right there in front of us.
Gotcha.
So I get the subliminal messaging, right? And you got to understand how that goes on in your life and how you approach relationships now. Like I didn't understand. I didn't have to sit here and think about, well, what the fuck is the sanctity of marriage if my father on his second wife decided to go move out with his new bitch. Like he just left. And
Wow.
I'm in the house with my I'm in the house with my stepmom and my sister.
Wow.
And shout out to my stepmom, she don't never she has so much grace and strength to come in there and wake me up that morning and to tell me that my father doesn't live in this house anymore. And
That's
then my father had the gall to call me and tell me that he want me to come live with him and his new bitch.
nah, bruh. Pass.
And I'm supposed to be goo goo gaga eyed about marriage.
Nah, I feel you. I feel you. I definitely feel you.
So that 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 type of like just our contrast,
Hmm.
right? The way we saw it differently. How can we come together? If we would say, let's say we came together. Let's say, how do we come together with these? Do we have chemistry? We have way different opinions about what a relationship, love, marriage looks like.
Yes,
Do we have Can we have chemistry?
we can still have chemistry. I think that that's possible. That's where communication comes in.
So that's the other part then, because if communication is that organic,
It
then
is.
you, then you got to talk about the dark side of that fucking chemistry.
You do. And if you can deal with it, that's when you talk and you hear, like you said, how you felt about that. What if you were the person who didn't want to get married, right? And what if I'm the one, I have to because that's what I see, but because you see marriage as something dreadful, and you be like, nah, that's I'll have
Now you're,
I
but
have
now,
a life partner, but I ain't get married.
but now here's the problem. Because we wrap all them seeds up and we use them as we see fit. Because I believe what I believe. Now we don't have compatibility.
Yep.
So fuck our chemistry.
Our compatibility is
Our
gone.
compatibility is off. So can you build from just chemistry alone?
I feel it
Should
has to
you
be
should you
chemistry.
build a relationship with chemistry?
It has to be chemistry and communication in order to figure out if you're compatible.
I don't even like compatibility. I would prefer chemistry, communication, and complement.
Compliment. You know what? I agree with the whole thing of not going by compatibility. And the reason I say this, it was a dating app that I used to use. And the dating app was based off of compatibility.
I'm sorry.
Hold on.
Real,
Hold on. Let me.
wait a minute. Do you know that Married at First Sight does that to people, right?
Oh, the
Based off of those,
compatibility. Yeah. Remember the chick that was a
ask Paige
virgin?
how that working out for her right now. For everybody, all my Married at First Sight people, how's Paige working out right now with that compatibility chart that they use to find your match?
I only watched one season with the
You
chick
need to
who was
get caught up on just that
virgin.
couple right there.
Okay.
This season, Paige and Chris are trending all over the place. And every episode, Chris makes Paige look stupid. And
Oh
if she
God, I
wasn't
gotta watch
bound by that money, I think she'd been gone a long time ago. I hope she would have been gone a long time
it. But the dating site was off of compatibility. And I remember one
ago.
person, it said
Mm,
we were 99% compatible.
mm. Based off of what metrics?
It was these questions that we had to answer.
All right, yeah,
So so the more
compatibility
questions,
questionnaires.
yeah, the more questions you answer, the higher your compatibility. And
Mm.
when I tell you, we're good friends and not even good friends because we don't even talk like that. But we used to laugh about how it said we was compatible. And when I tell you we don't get along, like we don't get along. Like I think
Listen,
that he's like arrogant and I'm like, this
check
is
this out.
not what I like.
Check
This
this out.
is not me. But we were
I'm in
99% compatible.
I'm in a car with an ex. We are getting some food on the way home of a day of work. Everything's fine. Getting food. Um, she orders her food. I order mine. I run in there, pick it up. I get in the car. Now she's driving. I'm in the side. I'm eating my food. She's dipping in hers. Now, if people know me and they understand who I am, they know that I'm very direct about what I like, what I don't like, and I will always let you know when I'm willing to step outside of my box. But if I don't like something, I just don't like it.
Oh
Period.
gosh. I
I
know
just
where this
don't.
going. I'm listening. I'm listening.
So, um, I like hearty food. I have texture issues. You know what I'm saying? I like food that got a little taste to it. Sweet potato fries don't do it for me.
Okay.
Just don't.
I
Okay.
got
I like hearty, salty fries. And sweet potatoes just don't do it for me. It's not I'm not none against sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes.
but the
When
fry,
it's
yeah,
when
fries
it's
are good.
yams,
I
but it's
like them.
fries.
I like
Okay.
them, but I got you. I know
She
you.
has sweet potato fries. And she kept trying to get me to eat one. I didn't want it. She snapped. She literally snapped on me. That's why we not compatible. Cause I don't want you to. Cause I don't want you to fucking sweet potato fry.
Yeah,
Word, word. Communication. Communication was
communication.
all. I will tell you how to communicate with me. Please don't be glow sticking with your conversation all the time. My grandma was famous for land your plane, baby. Land your plane. right? The more you talking, the more it sound like bullshit. So just land your plane, okay? So I ask for very direct communication sometimes. I know it's a difficult thing for some of y'all, but I still require it. And even when I make concessions for not getting it, it doesn't mean that you're devoid of the effort of trying.
Okay, because I was gonna say for me, I,
Let me finish this story
I'm
though.
listening. Okay.
Now, I had smoked earlier that day. I don't make no concessions about my medicinal marijuana usage. Okay. And by the time I got to her, I was just tired. You know what I'm saying? She goes, "Are you high?" I said, "Nope." Because by that time, it was over. I had smoked like 3 o'clock. It's almost 6 o'clock now. Like, who the fuck still high for 3 hours? You know what I mean? I done just drove an hour and a half to get to you in traffic. By this time, I'm just tired and frustrated, right? Are you high? No, I'm not high. You gonna tell me you not high? Nope, I'm not high. So you didn't smoke today? Yeah, I smoked today, like every day. So then why ain't you just say because you didn't ask me did I smoke? You asked me was I high?
Oh my gosh.
If you asked me would I smoke, I say yes, like I always do. If you asked me, did you smoke in the last hour or so? I would have said no. I smoked around 3. That was our communication, right? She would go all the way around instead of just asking me what the fuck she wanted to ask me.
Aren't
And then when I didn't answer,
like the withdraw?
when I didn't answer the way that she required me to answer, I was hiding things. This is why we're not compatible. Question me as a decent human being.
Oh God,
Like words hurt, yo.
they do. I'm not laughing at it, but
I
that's
let
a
myself
lot.
get beat up in a relationship for 2 years, yo. I let
That's
myself get mauled emotionally at a time when I was just discovering it to be able to express them and communicate like I need to. Oh my goodness. Compatibility. Yo, I got fussed at for still watching football. 4 weeks into preseason, in which I watched every preseason game. Told you I was watching every preseason game. It was week 3 by the time you got pissed off, right? I don't have no moral compass because I'm watching football. I'm like, football is entertainment. These niggas want to quit. They should quit. Like, if they not gonna fucking protest, what am I gonna do by protesting? I'm not watching this shit on cable. I'm streaming it, so I'm not paying anything. I'm not giving any Nielsen ratings.
got
And
you.
I'm only watching my team. I don't care about the whole league. I just need my team to do well. Okay. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like these type of things, these compatibility things get thrown in with chemistry when you've never let chemistry happen organically anyway.
So back to the communication, and I think I just wrote down another episode: "Sticks and stones break your bones, and so does words. Words
words,
do
words,
hurt.
words
Words
hurt,
do
mommy.
hurt. Yes,
Words
they
hurt.
hurt. They hurt. But back to like for me, I know with my communication, I do have a hard time communicating. It's very hard for me. And like you said, is my thing is as long as you don't get mad, I'll say something, but it takes time for me because I'm the person, if I say it right away, I'm a spaz out.
If there's no natural chemistry, then there is no ability to communicate.
That's true. And I find it that it's easier now in the with me dating now, that it is easier for me to communicate. It is easier for me to get along with others. So I do agree with that. So, part one, let's wrap that up and then we'll get back into part two. And we ain't touched base on nothing that I put in these notes at all.
Well, I mean, listen,
I mean, no, we
We
quick.
had to get into what this. We had to break down chemistry was before we talk
No,
about that dark side of it. That
yeah,
this is this is. You guys are so scared of organic chemistry because it's a feeling you can't control, and we're gonna talk about that part right there.
okay.
All right, reason why y'all bobs is so worn the fuck out.
Oh my gosh. All right, you guys, we are ending part one. Let our sponsors come in, and we will be back with part two.